family. And my father was more interested in women, womanizing and alcohol than he was in being a father, showing us the right thing. Yeah. So, that mixed in with the violent behaviors and mood swings of the alcoholism and things that we saw. I've seen my father punch my mother over a lazy boy couch. I've seen him hit my stepmother in the face with an ashtray, a marble ashtray. And you're talking about 6 years old, 7, 13 years old, 12 years old. I'm not talking 25-year-old man. I'm talking about a kid. So anyhow, we saw those years of boxing. My father had a gym, and we would spend nights helping him build his dream. School nights. I'm not talking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We were there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, midnight, 2 a.m. Father's drinking with the guys, building a shower downstairs. Just a bunch of stuff that's just confusing at this point. If I look back at it and try to explain it, it's just confusing. There's no structure. There was no, I want my son to be educated. I want you know what I'm saying? There was no plan.
I do.
It's funny though, because boxing, as much as I seen him be violent to my mother and two things, boxing showed me how to calm that, how to tame that.
Yeah.
This is weird. And I say it's only weird because it never taught him to do that, I guess, but it taught me. I never in my life hit a woman, never will, never been aggressive in that way towards somebody, weaker. I brought a girl by that was a neighbor that he was having an affair with to show me her breast. And I was in 8th grade. And, these are the things my father showed me. My father showed me how to cheat on the women, how to make a phone number, turn a phone number into a math problem so they won't find it. He showed us how to stay out all night. And if you come home in a pissed off mood, the woman leaves you alone, the wife leaves you alone. So you go to bed. You just come in and just throw your fit and go to bed. My father had his girlfriend living with us. My mother and him had a room. His girlfriend had the back room and 5 kids in the house. Just crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, boom. Before we continue, first and foremost, this interview was sent to me via email, okay? And to be fair, the interview is an hour and 20 minutes long. But don't worry, your boy obviously watched it. Yep. And I clipped it. And then obviously I've got all the bits that I obviously want to speak about right here, right now. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about the very beginning. He pretty much speaks about the whole womanizer. Then also on top of that, he follows up by talking about aggression and then also talks about infidelity. Now, here's the thing. These are the things that obviously clearly identify straight off the bat why he has to be around women all the time. Because his dad role modeled this lifestyle to him, the lifestyle of cheating. Now, there's never necessarily been any confirmation or information around Brian and his cheating per se, but I say that, but then at the same time in this video, he pretty much does talk about the fact that he has been an unloyal man anyway. So this video does give us that confirmation, to be fair. But with that being said though, at the same time, do I believe that Brian may have picked up his dad's violent ways against women? No. I mean, obviously Brian does speak about how boxing helped him not do that, and I do generally believe him. I generally do believe him in that aspect, and he doesn't necessarily come across as somebody that would necessarily be violent per se. He just comes across as somebody that will always try to be verbally abusive rather than physically abusive. But hey, either way though, there are going to be so many other things in this video here that we're going to listen to that's going to give us more of a background on who Brian is, and also at the same time, some of the things even confirm my own assumptions that I did say already. But some people are like, no, that's not really that important, and I'm like, no, it is important. Some people are going to learn one day. When I witness something, when I spot it out, it's more likely going to be true. But listen, let's carry on though, because his dad clearly was not a good person for him to be around. And we're just warming up. It gets worse.
I thought I felt pretty good about me, but I was bullied. I was the bully. I wasn't beating up on kids, but I would definitely pick on and be the clown of the class clown and all that.
Before I play any more there, I actually want to speak about that bully part there. Bullying works in different ways. So he admits that he was a bully when he was in school. Now, in today, I still believe that he still carries some of those bullying traits. Because here's the thing. Even when you play victim, it doesn't mean that you're the one that's being bullied. When you play victim sometimes, depending on what kind of mind game you're trying to play, it means you are still trying to bully somebody else, but you're just doing it in a different way. Instead of being the aggressor that shows that they bully, you will be the one that literally goes, this person's never nice to me. They're always doing this to me, because you're trying to manipulate the situation to make that person look bad and to make you look good. We know Brian cares about his image, because he literally says at the beginning of the season on social media that I'm one of the good guys. I was like, bruh, trust me or not, I can see through you. You know what I'm saying? So he obviously has this thing where he's still trying to be, he still is a bully, but just in a different way. Because there are some people who are bullies when they're young, but then grow up to be mature. And then there's some people who are bullies when they're young, but then find a way to evolve that bullying into a different type of bullying. And sometimes that is called playing the victim. But we continue.
So going back to real quick, my neighborhood there was gangs and drugs and low income housing, you know. So that was my inspiration in life, Charlie. That was my inspiration. Either I wanted to be a boxer ball player or I wanted to be a drug dealer. Well, they kind of both happened. A little history also too. My grandfather used to run numbers in Chicago. So he was mafia, and that got me, that was in my head. I'm mafia, I'm mafioso. I'm from mafia family. So my father didn't like it. He went to the army and all that. But so sports took me as far as silver gloves. I did one bout in golden gloves, lost to the guy who won. That was my claim to fame. Nate Jones was a guy I beat twice. No, I beat him 3 times actually. And when we were kids, Nate Jones won a bronze medal. I looked it up and I thought it was silver. I was trying to hype up my story, but he won bronze medal, I think, in '96, Nate Jones, and I beat him 3 times. So I went as far as like 17 years old into boxing, and then kind of just, you know, I was already getting high with marijuana at the time, 16 years old, hanging with the friends. My mother shipped me to the suburbs to live with my father because 8th grade, then you go into high school. Once you go into high school in Chicago, it's basically gangland. You know, high schools are either you're with it or you're not. So, you know, with that, I went to California with a buddy of mine with the one-way bus ticket, thinking I'd go to Cali and get a job and live a life. And he was a weed buddy of mine that we used to hang out and start selling little weed here and there. And so we went to California, and I fell on my face, flat on my face. You know, stayed at his uncle's house for about 2 or 3 days. He had daughters my age, and he didn't want any trouble, so he set us up with a hotel for a couple of days. Once I ran out of money there, my brother picked me up. He was in basic training in Oklahoma, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. With that, I went to Oklahoma for a little bit, smoking weed still and everything. I can remember still my brother telling me, he grabbed my jacket one day to go to the store, and I had weed in the pockets and smelled. That was my jacket. That was my smoking jacket, you know. So he came back to the house and tried to tell me, Brian, what are you doing, man? So you got weed in your pockets. I'm at the store. I don't know if I'm gonna get pulled over. I get home. I said, bro, don't wear my jacket. That's not my fault. You know, I was a knucklehead. I didn't take the educated, the mature route and say, hey, I'm sorry, man. You know, I said, that's my fucking jacket. Don't wear it. That's not the right way.
Yeah, I mean,
got me money back to Chicago. Coming back to Chicago, I figured I'd get married to my high school sweetheart, because that was the next step in life, right? You're 18, you got to get married and then be a man and do these things that dad did or whoever did, you know? So came back to Chicago and got married and got a job. 18, 19, I'm married. Working at an insurance company downtown Chicago with my mother, that she got me in as a file clerk. And I used to take 2-hour lunch breaks. I turned my lunch break into a smoke weed, go have sex, and go drink a 6-pack of beer and come back to work. And that lasted probably for about 4 or 5 years, you know.
So let's talk about that real quick. So his first marriage was when he was 18, 19. Since then, he has gone off and had multiple marriages, multiple engagements, and obviously that means multiple divorces as well as multiple breakups. We know that currently right now he is, from what I've seen, he is currently married to somebody, and that person is not Ingrid. Now, obviously, that's something that people have now been able to identify and to wonder if Ingrid even had an idea. And also on top of that, we are also wondering if him and Ingrid are still a thing till this day. Now, of course, while the show is still airing, both of them can't really reveal that information, but they can if they want to break NDA, but, you know, clearly they both want to behave. But nonetheless, though, let's continue. Very interesting to hear about him starting off young with the marriage. But let's just stick with the whole starting off young with the marriage.
Married my high school sweetheart, had a daughter at 21, 22. And by then I was selling pounds of weed with my buddies from Chicago. So we had, you know, our fridge had a pound in it at least, you know, for sure, every day. And so I was making a little money, insurance company, smoking, being a man, being a guy, supporting my family.
I mean, you wasn't being the man, being the guy supporting your family, because you literally had drugs in your house with your child. Just wild how some people can just, you know, think that something is XYZ when it's really not. It's the complete opposite. Yuck.
Staying out till 4 or 5 in the morning. Then I started doing cocaine with my buddy, and that was missing days of work and disappearing and not being the new dad that I should be. Womanizing, chasing women, you know, having affairs at work, and there
you go. He's out here confirming, of course, that, you know, throughout his relationship, and that tells me throughout all of his relationship, or at least most of them, he's never been a loyal man. Because I mean, but yeah, we're still warming up.
Relationship fell apart. Obviously, you know, I didn't do shit to help it. You know, so I blamed it on her, that she didn't know how to cook, she didn't know how to clean, she wasn't doing her womanly things to keep me there. I'm out of here. You know, Just being selfish Brian. So I met a lady that was 40. She was probably about 38, I believe, at the time, and I was 25. She had a Cadillac. She had a nice house. She had everything that I thought was, a woman. Wow, that's a woman. That's a woman. She can take care of me. She cooked and cleaned and got a house. And wow, I'm done. So I told my ex I'm out, and moved in with this woman. And one day she was going to her office job that I.
Before we even get into her one day she was getting into an office job. So the moment that he left his first wife, his high school sweetheart, who else did he leave behind? Think about that. So I mean, there's a period of time when he neglected a certain responsibility that he had. It's quite sad. But I don't know if his daughter on the show is the same daughter that he had when I don't know if that was his firstborn. But I think she is. She looks like she probably was his firstborn, to be fair. Somehow they've been able to reconcile their relationship, but clearly, yeah, man was not there for his child at the very beginning because he was too busy out there chasing somebody else. And when he got that somebody else, well, guess what? That's when his life turned around. And think about it. If he had never left his high school sweetheart just because he was looking for someone better, or if he had never at least neglected his parental responsibilities after leaving his high school sweetheart, maybe what happens next in his life wouldn't have happened. Just maybe. But hey, because think about it, the choices that we make determine what is our priorities. His priorities in his life were literally him. Nothing, no one else but that. And because these priorities were him, that's what I believe got him to where he's at now. And that is being paralyzed.
Came out of the closet, nervous, walk-in closet, and I startled her, and I was wondering why. So she left the house and went on her way. I went into the closet, and I found the ounce of cocaine. I said, wow, that's what it is. That's why she's nervous. So I put the ounce of cocaine on the table. Well, I put the ounce of sugar on the table in water and left it for her to find when she came home. That was a don't lie to me sign. And I took the ounce of cocaine to Humboldt Park to Chicago. My guys were loving it. They said, this is pure stuff, man. This is 100%. So that ended up being about an $800, $900 transaction right there that I figured, okay, that's what it is. And then marijuana, a pound of marijuana is this, 1,000, 1,200 ounce of cocaine is a little baseball. Wow, that's a lot better than what I'm doing with weed. So let me try this. So anyhow, she came home and we had to talk, and I told her, I said, hey, I'm the man of the house. Let me run the drugs. You stay home. And I guess I fell right into what she wanted, probably.
It's funny because he said that I'm the man of the house. I'm sorry, but did you not say that you literally got with her because she literally had all of her shit together? She had a car, she had a house, she had all these things. So, bro, understand this. You was never the man of the house. You never was. I mean, there was always room for you to become one, to become it, but don't say you was. And to be honest, according to what he thinks anyway, yeah, he never became the man of the house. He literally became her peasant. Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
I told her, I said, hey, I'm the man of the house. Let me run the drugs. You stay home. And I guess I fell right into what she wanted, probably. She probably set all that up now that I think about it. Because once I was shot later, and I'll get to that, but she had told my mother that, oh, you find those guys a dime a dozen in Chicago.
Which guys?
The young guys willing to sell cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
You stay home while I do the drugs at midnight to get three things in life: nice car, nice house, and money. So the first thing that came, Charlie, I swear to God, was the car. I got the car and I was like, okay. I didn't think about, oh, this is the first, it came through. One came through. Now next two.
Right.
Then came the money, then came the big house. Then came the lifestyle of all the women, the cars, and the drugs. We were selling a kilo probably every 2 months. So a kilo, once we break down my kilo, we would take out $9,000. So I would get the kilo, I would cut 9 ounces out. That's my profit. I'd package it again with other things to then sell it to this main guy who would buy the kilo for his bar every 2 months. So I had one main guy customer, and then the little guys was my profits. So I did the 9 for profits, and every 2 months I'd make sure Tito was happy. We did that. And meanwhile, you just don't, I told you I was using too. But see, we were using an 8 ball a day. And I had that in control, so I wasn't going over like I was going to be overdosed. Even though one day I did fall out of the car, rolling eyes and everything, my buddy stuck a lighter in my mouth to help me out so I wouldn't swallow my tongue, I guess he said. So, all that kind of was fun and nice for a while, but it just seemed to be like it came to fruition.
It came to fruition.
Yeah, no, I had my daughter. She was 2, 3, 4 years old as I had that house, the big house in Orland Park, had tennis court, we had swimming pool and all that. And I didn't want to be there. So she would come visit me on the weekends. And I don't got time for this, this kid. I'm tired. I enjoyed it, but it was mostly, shove it off onto my ex-wife now, shove it off onto them. And get me through this and on to the next day where I can make more money and just get out of here and on and on. And I didn't see an ending. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know, and I wasn't going anywhere. FBI came to my house, raided the house. That didn't stop us. They were looking for the guy that was staying with us. His brother was our connection. They really never knew. I blamed it on him. It was just, on and on. So there was no stopping me. They pulled me over. I had an ounce of cocaine. I stuck it in the grass. I got away with that. I drove drunk. I smashed light poles. I crashed cars. They miscounted drug money, $10,000. I spent that on the weekend in a club, crashed a car, demolished that. It was a mess.
I just want to point out that this is just my opinion on this. But to be fair, the whole video is my opinion, clearly. But I want to point out that you see, when it comes to Brian, I don't think he's somebody that's like an open person. I think that personally he enjoys telling his story. I think that he enjoys telling his story because he thinks that his story makes him seem cool. Be like, hey guys, so this was me. I was living that life. I was doing this and that, da-da-da, until so-and-so happened. And then obviously now I am where I am. But I'm still cool because I'm now doing this instead, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now listen, there's nothing wrong in life with believing that your story is cool, right? But there's also has to be certain levels when you understand that your story isn't cool throughout. That there were certain parts of your stories that are just not right. Okay, I generally think that he doesn't. I think he knows that obviously there's parts of his story that obviously are not right, but I don't think he actually allows himself to acknowledge it, because when he's telling his story, he's literally trying to tell them in a way is like, yeah, man, like this is what I was doing. Da 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 da. Come on now, like yeah, this is the life. Like, but think about it. Each time he says what he's doing, he was like, well, this is what I thought it was. Da 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 da. But to be fair, it sounds like as if he still thinks this is what I was supposed to be doing in the first place. Now there is a point in the interview that I don't think I have in this clip anyway, that he does cry a little bit about this and that, but we know Brian is very good at crying because he does cry every now and then. So I wouldn't take the crying as a sign of, oh my God, I can't believe he's been through this and he's been through. No. This is a man, in my opinion, I don't believe he's actually taken full accountability for what he has done in his life, because this is a man that literally, of course, was from a young age, he was obviously smoking marijuana. Then obviously later on, he then obviously advanced to another drug. Then obviously he advanced to selling marijuana, then selling an even higher drug, you know what I mean? And he never really cared about who he hurt throughout that time. Now, may not care about who he hurt physically. Like, I'm not talking about physically hurting people, but I'm talking about, just the fact that you're selling products to people, just what I'm saying. And I know they're saying, if I'm not going to sell it, someone else will. I get it, but who wants to be part of the problem? I never want to be part of the problem, you know what I mean? So yeah, but nonetheless though, I'm just saying that I don't believe this is a man that is taking full accountability for his actions. I think he still thinks that his life was cool, and if he could go back in time and change anything, I don't think he would. And yeah, anyway, let's continue. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
No stopping me. There was no stopping me.
Reckless.
And I wanted more. I wanted younger. I didn't want the old wife now. I wanted a younger woman. I got the clients, I got the money, I got everything. I wanted a young one. So that's where it kind of twisted a little bit to where I had a fake job and a fake name.
Oh, that's the part that I've been waiting for. I literally made a video not long ago, where I said that, listen, something isn't right about him always wanting younger women. And I saw a few comments, people said, hey, listen, him wanting younger women, that's not even an issue, blah, 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 blah. No. It is. Because I said there's a reason behind it. Okay, so clearly this guy is hooked on always being young women. Now, of course, he tried to go for an older woman, not because he was attracted to older women because of whatever. He went to her only because of what she had. But generally speaking, this man has a thing for younger women. Now, luckily, it's women that are legal younger. But I really want to know why. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it kind of is a bad thing, like Leonardo DiCaprio type stuff. But anyway, we continue.
At a Dodge dealership, and the general manager was one of my clients. It was about probably a half an ounce a week, so that's about $500. That's between me and him. Of course, you want a job? Yeah, I got a job for you. Work over there. You don't got to sell any cars. Just fucking supply me with coke. Anyhow, I met a woman at that dealership, a young woman, and started dating her while I was married to the supplier. And just word got around. I finally came up and told her too that hey, I'm done. I don't love you anymore. In that way, we can work together. I can help you. I like the business. I like the money. I don't like you.
And there you go. He liked the business, liked the money, didn't like her. But here's the thing though. Remember what I said before. This man has only ever thought about him. The choices that he makes only prioritize around him. He literally thinks it's okay to go from woman after woman after woman, thinking that there'd be no consequences. Now, bro, understand this. You was in a relationship with the dealer. The connect. You didn't think that leaving her would not leave you in a sticky situation? Well, just know this. Because of him always thinking about what he wants and never thinking about how it's going to impact other people, this is when the consequences started to happen for him. And you can easily say that he wrote his own story.
So, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, no problem. Yeah, okay, no problem. So, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Again, this time thing is just strange with me sometimes because it could have been 3 months, but for me it was 3 weeks. So I'm gonna say 3 weeks after the separation, I stayed at. We had a safe house kind of deal. That's where I was staying at, where we kept the drugs on the south side of Chicago. And I told her I'm living there, I'm working here. You need help? Call me. Okay. So a couple weeks into it, she calls me, says, "Hey, the people I work with, they have cocaine down in the basement. If you come at night, I'll give you the code and all this stuff, and we can rob them together." And blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Give me the code. Let me know. I'm calling my guys. I said, "Hey, she knows somebody. We can get kilos now. Let's rob them and this." So I called her on that the night she says, and she says, no, it didn't happen. It's not going to happen. Okay, no problem. Go back to my thing, doing my thing every day, blah, blah, blah. One night I come home from the dealership. I got a Dodge Caravan. Just smoked a joint, came home feeling good, ready to party with the boys, 11 o'clock at night. I'm parking my van. And as I park my van, I see two guys across the street. And I'm not worried. I'm 6 feet. I'm about, 200 pounds, 210. And we can do this if you want to. So one guy came across the street, skinny guy, skinny crackhead. That's all I could think of, skinny ass guy. So he comes to my door, covers his face and says, "Hey, get out of the car. I got a gun." And I said, "Holy shit." I told him, "Fuck you. I got a gun too." So I reached, but I didn't have a gun. I just wanted to take off my seatbelt, get out, one to the body, one to the head, and tear him up. So I got out thinking I'm Bruce Lee, smoked the joint. Okay. Smoked that joint. So that probably gave me a little more gusto. Jumped out of the car, went at him, ducked down, went down for one shot. Bang. One shot right here. A little 22. That's why I went at him, because it was a little 22, which is more dangerous than a big 45. So anyway, little 22 shot me right there. Got into my spinal cord. Done. Knockout. I fell straight onto the floor. He rolls me over, and I'm a quadriplegic that I have no idea what the hell the quadriplegic was or is.
Right.
So I'm laying on the ground on the street. He rolls me over and he tells me, "If you get up, I'm gonna run you over." And I told him, "Dude, what did you do to me? I can't even move."
No arm. You couldn't move your arms or your legs.
I couldn't move nothing. I was like
Wow.
like shocked, like electric alien shocked me. And that's what had me freaking out. And I seen my buddies get shot before and run and figure, oh my God, look, I got a gunshot.
See the thing. Why did he get out of the car? Why did he even feel the need to pretend that he had a gun on him? Why did he feel the need to fight somebody who's got a gun? Because Brian thinks about Brian. All of these life choices have all been about what he thinks is good for him. So because he's a boxer now, he's thinking, "Oh, I'm a boxer and I'm 6 foot, da 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 da. Man, this guy ain't got shiz on me." All right, cool. So he gets out of the car. As you heard, I don't know who in their right mind would think that bringing fists to a gunfight would be a good idea. Clearly, Brian did. Again, has this man ever sat there and taken accountability for anything he has done in his life? No. Why? Because if he had, then why is he still out here dating women after women after women after women? And we've seen the way he's been so far in 90 Day Fiancé. We've seen that when he doesn't get his own way with Ingrid, he cries like a little baby. Because he's not getting his own way. It's all about Brian. And the fact that he hasn't learned from this is crazy to me. The day that he got paralyzed from that single gunshot, that day was meant to change him to become an even better person, or to at least become somebody that understands accountability, self-reflection. I mean, for him, playing rugby in a wheelchair became his new dopamine, which, listen, by all means necessary. It's a great thing, but it felt as if like he was given the power to do that. So therefore, it distracted him from actually sitting there and thinking about how he got to where he got to and how he can prevent it moving forward. Maybe, listen, yes, fair enough, he's now moved on in life and he's not necessarily in a position anymore where he's doing a certain level of a ruckus or whatever, but he's still out here thinking only about himself. The fact that he's never taken accountability for the fact that he's been in multiple marriages tells me everything that I need to know. This man has no single loyal bone in his body because all he thinks about is himself. What a selfish dude.
Oh, it's a 22. So I thought nothing of it. You're probably full of questions. Down to the Rehab Institute of Chicago. which I'm like, okay, I guess this is better for me. But I still didn't really have the diagnosis of, it wasn't the soap opera scene of the doctor yet saying you're not going to walk, so that didn't happen yet. So it was just getting through, coming down off of all that. So once you're in the rehab, that's where you get the diagnosis, and then they evaluate and say. So my first thing was bathroom stuff. I didn't use the bathroom for like 10 days. I'm talking number 2. I'm like, so I asked my dad. So he came around, and I asked him. I said, "What is it? What the hell is that?" He said, "It's just something your body goes through. They're gonna have to, eventually take it out or have to give you something." And so it was a bathroom thing that first hit me, and then my hands. I'm a quadriplegic, so again from here down, I don't have the balance, and you don't have the hand strength, and that could be a millimeter down, a millimeter up. It makes you a full good hand or not hand at all. So after that, they broke that down to me, and I still, even after they said you're quadriplegic, and I was in the hospital for 2 months.
Jesus.
The first month was basically just trying to get you up. I laid down probably the first 3-4 weeks. I'm laying down. I had a patch in my head because I laid down so much. So finally, after a month, they can get you up. They finally tell me, we're going to measure you for a wheelchair. And I said, no. I drank a lot of milk. What do you mean? My bones are strong. I box. I'm a healthy guy.
Bro, it doesn't matter how much milk you drank. You were still taking substance for all your years. Like, what's... It's like someone going to the gym but still having a terrible diet. You can't outwork a freaking terrible diet. So you drinking milk and being a boxer, that doesn't overtake the fact that you was in substance for God knows how long. But hey, to be honest with you, obviously, clearly, him being paralyzed has nothing to do with him being I think that had nothing to do with him taking milk or him having substance. Is due to the fact that the bullet just hit him in a place where nothing could be done, and that's just that. It had nothing to do with his health. Nothing was put in his body. It was just a matter of the bullet hit him in the wrong place, and that was that. But some may argue and say that the bullet hit him in the right place. Why? Because his ego put him here. His way of thinking that everything should be about me, put him here. So maybe the bullet did hit him in the right place. Maybe that was his karma, or that was a way of him being told that, listen, you have been selfish for too long. I must now take away something from you that's going to humble you. But has he been humbled? If you ask me, I'm going to say, hell nah.
1 bullet? 1? 22? She's like, you ain't walking no more, Brian. You ain't walking. Your hands, that's as good as your hands are going to get.
Well, and that's that. And that is that. Like I said, listen, the whole interview stuff in particular is an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I mean? I will link it down below if you want to check it out for yourselves. You can, by all means necessary, do what you got to do. Yeah. Now I will say this though, obviously I did have it sped up, so yeah, as I always do, because I'm impatient. With that being said though, let me know your thoughts on what he had to say. But like I said before, this one here for me personally definitely allows us to understand why he has been through so many freaking relationships, why he is unable to stay to stay faithful. And also I believe this kind of answers why he likes to always go for younger women, because clearly being with someone younger is a thing for him. But I also still believe that he likes someone younger because he generally wants someone to, be his nurse. But when we say young, we're not talking about like 20s, you know what I'm saying? Like 30s, whatever. Actually, how old is Ingrid? Damn, I forgot how old is she? Well, how old is she? Damn it. Interesting. Either way though, either way, let me know your thoughts and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.